This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Strat-O-Matic excelled carryover league. Brought to you by the Shrimp Trawler. 1972 to 1975.
Game 499, Marlins at Phillies. Welcome back, baseball fans. The 1972-75 Carryover League. We are back in the race to the pennant, and we begin the first batch of elimination games between third and fourth place teams. And today it'll be the National League East between the Marlins and Phillies. Let's just take a quick review of what's taken place in the overall race to the pennant. Here is the first 8 series we've played between first and second place teams. And in the National League, the teams that were in first pretty much took care of business. The Mets were in first. They took care of business 4-1 over the Braves. The Giants were in first. They took care of business. Vegas was in first. They took care of business. The Cubs were tied for first. They really took care of business, 4-1 over the Pirates. Oakland did the same in the American League West. But it was the White Sox upsetting the Royals. Not really an upset because the White Sox are a more talented team. They finally overcame the Royals. Baltimore finally got their act together against a surprising darling Toronto team. And the old man of Detroit staved off the Expos yet again. That all happened, and so now we begin the process of potentially eliminating a third or fourth place team. We have a series between the Marlins and Phillies. The Marlins start the series a half game back, and the Phillies have the tiebreaker. If the Marlins win 4-3, they'd be a half game up, but Philly would still have the tiebreaker, so you would need to play a game 8. And so that's the Marlin quest. Can you win 5 of 8 games? Let's take a look and see what's happened. Game 1. Marlins at Phillies. Steve Arlen, Steve Carlton, and this is a shocker. First inning, Hal McRae, 2-run dinger. Second inning, a walk, a triple, a pass ball. It's 4-0 Marlins. We go to the 5th inning. They bat around. A single, a couple outs, and then double, single, 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 walk, walk. They chase lefty. Steve Carlton, 4 2/3, 9 hits, 9 runs, 8 are earned, 4 walks, and 4 strikeouts. McQueen and Gladden finished the game. It's a Marlin laugher, 9-2. Now, caution again. This always happens. Their team scores 9 runs, and you're thinking to yourself, boy, we didn't need all 9 of those. It'd be nice to have some of those runs in our back pocket, right? Let's go to game 2 in Philadelphia. It'll be Rich Trodzin. We've seen them a few times on YouTube. A lefty versus Pat Dobson. 3-0 Phillies win. Shutout are the Marlins. 3 singles in the 5th inning get a run, and then a 2-run homer by Denny Doyle on his own card against left-handed pitching, which is bizarre, but he got it. Pat Dobson, 5-hit shutout, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. And the Phillies even the series a game apiece. Let's go to game 3. They change stadiums. They fly down to Florida. Phillies, 6-zip. Marlins haven't scored in 18 innings after blasting Steve Carlton. Actually, they haven't scored in 22 innings because they stopped scoring in the 5th inning of game 1 and started celebrating. Wayne Twitchell with a 12-hitter. Twitchell and Dobson, that's no runs on 17 hits in the last 2 games for the Marlins, beating Eduardo Rodriguez. And the Phillies have reclaimed home field, 2-1. But the Marlins have some fight in them. Game 4. Good game here. It is Jim McLaughlin versus Ed Figueroa. Early, each team gets going. You get a Luis Melendez homer. 3 singles and 2 runs for the Phils here. RBI single by Jose Pagan, tied at 2. But the separation begins in the 4th. 3 straight singles, a walk, and a single by Luis Melendez. It's a 4-2 game. Cheap way to get a run. You get an error on a pitcher, a couple ground balls, and a pass ball. That's a super unearned run, I'd like to call it. 5-2 game. Ed Figueroa got through 5 innings. He's a pretty below average pitcher in comparison to the rest of the starters in our league. He survives 5 to qualify for his first win, I believe, of the year. And they go to the bullpen of Ken Reynolds and Orlando Pena for a 2-inning save. The Marlins get back on the winning ways. 5-2 final, all tied up at 2 apiece, meaning that there is potentially 4 games left in the series. Marlins need to win 3 out of 4. Okay, what happens in Game 5? It is a battle of the Game 1 guys again. Steve Carlton, Steve Arlen. And this is such a disappointing affair for the Florida Marlins. This is a team, when they lose, they get shut out. They were shut out 6-0, 3-0, and they have Carlton on his game. And not only is that a painful way to lose, here's how it happened. You walk Larry Boa, fine. Short X off of the best shortstop defensively they have, Mary Guerrero, it's a single. Then a ground ball to Felix Mian, the best second baseman they have. It's only a fielder's choice, it's not a double play. Then you get a sac fly, not a lot you can do there, and that's how Arlen gave up the run in this game. And once again, Carlton and the Phillies, not necessarily Carlton, got blasted in Game 1. Do not take on the wrath of Steve Carlton. He comes through with a 6-hit shutout, a walk, and 10 Ks. So in the 3 losses, the Marlins have no runs on 23 hits. 1-0 Philadelphia, a road win. Setting up Game 6 today. As you can tell, in the city of brotherly love, it'll be the Marlins, Phillies. Game 6. Marlins need to rip off 3 straight. Otherwise, their season is over. One other side note about the Marlins. It should be noted, at this time at least. We're going to go look at the stats really quickly. And what we notice is, in this corner here is the factor of Commissioner Award points. This is another accolade teams strive for in addition to going to the playoffs. The team with the most Commissioner Award points gets a compensation pick in the draft. 33rd overall pick. That's a nice pick. That's the first pick of the second round. Basically, you swap your 8th round pick for the first pick in the second round. And in this particular case, the Marlins have accumulated 2,106 points already. The scoring for that award closes before the playoffs begin. And when we look down at the bottom here, gotta show you this, folks. Looking at Commissioner Award points for all teams, it will show you who's currently leading. The White Sox were at 1,020 leading, but now they're in second to the Marlins at 2,106 points. They are almost a deadlock. It's very unlikely the White Sox could accumulate so many participation points to catch the Marlins for a draft pick, an extra draft pick in next year's draft. And certainly the Marlins need the draft pick much more than the White Sox. And how are they doing it? Well, if you look at the stats of the teams, I find this interesting as commissioner of the league. You look at the least amount of innings pitched by a player. Let's say it's 26 because 2 guys have it. You look at the least amount of at-bats, which is 81 by Luis Melendez. 26 times 81 is 2,106. So, another team would have to have a pitcher pitch at least 26 innings and at least 81 at-bats. That's the numbers to go for. Let's take a look at the White Sox since we know they're in second. You know, in their bullpen, you know, you got guys like Lemons with 19, Garman with 17. And at-bats, you have Bucky Dent with 64. Or actually Brian Downing with 60. It's very unlikely that all those players I just mentioned will get enough playing time before the tournament ends. Remember, the tournament, the White Sox have already played, so all they have is a second round and possibly a third round if they lose in the second round. But it looks like the Marlins are probably going to win the Commissioner Award, so good for them, at least, we think. Wanted to illustrate how the Commissioner Award works while we do all this, because it seems, at least on paper, that the Marlins are once again going to be one of the first teams eliminated from our league. Let's get started from the city of brotherly love. Today's pitching matchup. The Marlins will send out Rich Trodson. He seems to fall on the Marlin pitching schedule for YouTube. We have seen this guy pitch outstanding baseball on a few occasions. One was a shutout. He pitched well, 6 1/3 innings in his earlier start in the series. Trodson was a Padre in 73, 7-9 with a 4.26 ERA and 152 innings. If you're wondering how the Marlins would have gotten him, well, the Padres had Brent Strom and Randy Jones, so they wouldn't have needed Trodson. And your Phillies will respond with Wayne Twitchell. 73, 13-9, 250 ERA, 223 innings. This is Wayne's best year ever, starter 8. And the Phillies could really like to end this series. Let's look at the standings. And I'll show you why. The Phillies, I mean, look, they want to keep playing baseball, and here they are. If they win this game, they can move into second place. I mean, they'll probably win the series, but they'd like to get this win and go a game under 500. That puts them in second place, meaning they have to play the third place team in the West in the next round, which is the Astros presently. Or whoever. Actually, the Astros still have to play the Dodgers, so we don't know what's going to happen. But in the National League, because the Pirates just got skunked a little bit by the Cubs, suddenly the Phillies and the Braves, all these other teams, or you know, even the expansion teams, they're all going, hey, there's a shot at the number 6 seed. Reds probably will have at least a 5 seed, we think, unless they lose inexplicably to the Cardinals. But anyway, yeah, the Phillies have playoff dreams still faintly dancing in their heads. They'd love to dispatch the Marlins today. Let's get started. From the city of brotherly love, leading off for your Marlins, Luis Melendez, 2-8 is a K. Chuck Goggins, 66. Double 1-8, cannot get it, it's a fly ball. Twitchell, very good against lefties, as you can tell. Alou, 47 is a K. It'll be Terry Harmon Carden, 1-5, grounds to short. Gary Maddox, 1-8 is a base hit, ace stealer. You got Coggin catching. They're going to take off and steal a base. Lazinski, 1-7's a K. And with 2 outs, it'll be Schmidt, 2-12, rolls to short. Top of 2, Vic Davalillo, 56 is a K. Felix, putting me on, 64. Homer 1-3, we are. We're going to put you on second with a double. Manny Mota, 2-11, pops to first. And with 2 outs, it'll be Jose Pagan, 5-11, second X. It is Denny Doyle, a 2E14 second baseman makes the play. Bottom of the second inning, Walt Williams, 68 is a base hit for the C Stealer. Let's see if we can get some stolen bases. We got a +2 arm catcher. And he's in there by a whisker. Phillies have not been that successful stealing because Ellie Rodriguez has been getting a lot of use with a -2 arm, but they decided to go with Coggin today. Bob Boone, 38 for Bob's pop to third. Tony Taylor, 39 is a K, and with 2 outs, Larry Boa, 412. Flies to right. Top of the third. Celerino Sanchez, 211, is a walk. Mario Guerrero, 2-4, is a 1. 6-3, double play. Marlins are on their way to their 4th shutout. Louis Melendez, 1-8, double 1-4, is a double. Chuck Goggin, 38, single dot, and there's a run. That's a good sign. When the Marlins score a run, they win. But I don't know if 1-0 is the path to success today. Felipe Alou, 2-5, is a grounder to short. 1-0 Marlins. Here's Denny Doyle, 63, first. Terry Harmon, Carden, 1-5, short. And Maddox, 5-10, third X. It's Sanchez at 2E34. Bad E rating, good range. Probably gets to everything, then he has a wild arm. That's an error. Maddox is going to take off and get in the scoring position. He makes it. 2 stolen bases. And it's Luzinski, the Bull. 36, he walks. 2 on, 2 outs for Michael Jack Schmidt. 2-8 is a strikeout. It's the Trodsden YouTube factor, folks. It's a real thing. Into the 4th, Vic Davalillo, 411. Right X, you got Williams out there, 4-11, with Callison getting the day off. Oh, that's going to be a double. Felix putting me on, doubled earlier, 6-5 this time. He gets on again, triple 1-2. It's a base hit and an RBI. Look out, here come the Marlins, trying to even the series at 3 games apiece. It'll be Mota. 38 for Mota is a 6-4-3 double play. And with 2 outs, Pagan, 2-4, pops the third. Well, he got a run with a double play mixed in there. Bottom of the 4th, Walt Williams. 56, fly to left. You know, I really wish we could have gotten a Rich Trodsden Steve Carlton matchup the way Trodsden's been pitching on YouTube, you know? I mean, he's one of the top... History, who documents this YouTube channel, will suggest that Rich Trodsden's one of the top lefties in the National League with, you know, with Carlton and Jim Rooker and so forth and so on. Bob Boone, 49, double 1-19 is a double. Tony Taylor, 65, center, and with 2 outs. Boa, 5-10, third X. Sanchez again, 2E34. He makes the play this time. 2-0 into the 5th we go. It's Celerino Sanchez, 43. Left X. Luzinski's a 49 in left field, and he plays that into a trip. He didn't actually trip. This is shorthand for, yeah, well, he probably did trip, and it turned into a triple. 3 base hit. A gift for Celerino Sanchez, one of his 3 triples. The infield's going to come up. They've got a 2-0 game here. They can't afford any more runs, particularly cheap ones. It'll be Mario Guerrero. 4-4, third X, it's Schmitty. At 2E26 at third makes the play. With the infield up, the runner just stayed at third. Saw the ball hit near him. Louis Melendez. 38, base hit, and we got a 3-0 lead for your Marlins. Chuck Goggin. 37 is a walk. 2 on. Felipe Alou. 3-5, let's take a look at a player we haven't seen many. Felipe Alou. You know, all the brothers are on different squads. We got Matty Alou on the Seattle Mariners. Jay Alou is on the Expos. And Felipe Alou is here. Down in Florida. Pretty far apart from each other. And in 72 with the Yankees, Felipe had a 278 average and versatility. Outfield and first base. 3-5, double 1-5 is a double. And your Marlins are beating up on the Twitchell. On the Twitch, they've got him. 4 zip. Second and third, 1 out. Infield comes up for Vic Davalillo. 2-6. Let's take a look at Davalillo. Let's take a look at these guys because I don't know how long they're going to last, folks. Let's take one look at these Marlins. Davalillo was a Pirate in 72, which is ridiculous to add him to that outfield. They would have Gene Kleins out there, and Stargell, and Clemente, and Al Oliver, eventually Richie Zisk, and Dave Parker. Just an embarrassment of riches, so Davalillo needed a place to play. Marlins got him. 2-6, single ... folks. The Marlins are not going to go down without a fight. Ace stealer. Let's steal a base off of Bob Boone with a big lead. And he's in there with a 3. Booney's T rating, not good enough. Runner at second, 1 out. 4, Felix Millan. 45, second C. Runner at third, 2 outs. Moda 53, first. And the frustrated Philly fans, down 6-zip. Denny Doyle. 6-10, walks. Terry Harmon. 1-4, center. Gary Maddox, 59, second C. Runner goes to scoring position for Luzinski. 2-8, and we will not have a shutout today. It's a double. We have had a few of those. It's a 6-1 affair. Luzinski at second for Mike Schmidt. 56, left Troedson has qualified for victory with a 6-1 lead into the 6th. Twitchell will face Pagan. 59, short X. Boa's a 1E12. Yeah. Sanchez, 35, third. Mario Guerrero, 2-6. Single 1-4, cannot get it. All right, bottom of the 6th. Can the Marlins bring in a little bit more defense? You know what? They actually can. They can have Julio Montanez play first base in this affair. He'll come in for Pagan. And that'll do it, yeah, for defense. You know, just tweaking it a little bit here with a big 5-run lead. Bottom of the 6th, it's Walt Williams. 56, flies left. Bob Boone, 57 Ks. Tony Taylor, 37 is a K. Rich Troedson's doing it again, folks. 6-1 game. Top of the 7th. Twitchell pitched okay in the 6th, so we'll let him continue. William Melendez, 65. Triple 1 and 2 base hit. And do we call it a day for this guy? And just say, yeah, whatever, let's go for a Game 7 victory. Yeah, let's get rid of him. Twitchell leaves after 6 and a batter of pretty uninspiring pitching. And the Philly bullpen can use a little bit of work. It'll be Max Scarce, or Scarce, however you want to pronounce it. In the 7th inning, runner at first, Chuck Goggin. Here's the pitch. 67's a K. Felipe Alou, 2-5, fielder's choice. And Davalillo, 2-3, grounds a second. Stretch time in Philadelphia. We have been enjoying listening to the universal love of the city of brotherly love. MFSB, mother, father, sister, brother. You know, all the great stuff, as you can imagine. Let's throw this one down. For all you fans out there of the sounds of Philadelphia. Wonderful stuff. Bottom of the 7th inning. Troedson continues, leading 6-1. Little be Larry Boa. 39, single 1-5, can't get it. Denny Doyle, 69, single 1-19, gets it. Back up top to Harmon. 55, short X. This is Guerrero at 3E25. Gotta get this one. It is not. It's a single ... Oh boy, Marlins. On the corners for Gary Maddox. 69 is a base hit to right field. Scoring a run. Breaking Troedson, a 6 1/3. It'll be Diego Segui coming out of the Marlin bullpen. Diego. A Cardinal in 73, 7-6, 279 ERA in 100 innings. It's a 6-2 affair. You got runners in the corners. And you got number 3 hitter Greg Luzinski. Here's the pitch to the bull. Infield, playing back, hoping for the double play, holding Maddox. 2-2 is a low max. 2-2 off Lazinski, line out third max, which means Harmon was just too far off the bag at third. And Celerino Sanchez caught the line drive for your low max. And that just pours some water on that rally. And now the boos come down in Philadelphia as Terry Harmon ticks off, throws his batting helmet down. Bonehead base running move there. 6-2 game as we go to the 8th inning. Big defensive play. You know, heck, that's one of the big defensive plays in the wild card scenario, as a bunch of teams are watching, hoping Philadelphia dies a slow death. 6-2 in the 8th. It's Felix Mian leading off. 1-6 for Felix, triple one double. Manny, Mota. 2-8 for Manny is a grounder to the third. Willie Montanez in there for defense. 2-6 is space hit to right field. Mian. 16 runner will take on the Williams arm. And he's thrown out on a 19. You just can't run the bases in Strat for... I don't know. I just can't seem to run the bases to match the percentages that I seem to have, as that would have been a 85% chance. Yeah. Just, yeah. Means I have to start running on my 1-8s and make them. You know what I mean? Just to kind of catch up or something like that. Anyway, it'll be our boy Celerino Sanchez. Celerino, 49, off Scarce walks. 2 men on base again for Mary Guerrero. 1-7, he grounds the third. Well, Marlins squander that opportunity. There's no more defense to bring in. They got a 4-run lead, 6 outs to get. Segui continues. It'll be Michael Jack Schmidt. 33, short. Walt Williams, 37, flies to center, and with 2 outs. Bob Boone, 2-7. That is a roller to short. Nice inning in 2/3, thanks to the Lomax for Diego Segui. We go to the 9th. Gene Garber's going to pitch just because when your team throws 3 shutouts in 5 days, you pretty much don't need a closer. So Garber has been collecting cobwebs in the Philly bullpen, so let's get him some work, folks. He's 4-0 with a 2.06 ERA. In his arrival in Philadelphia from Kansas City. Didn't do a lot for the Royals. They tried him at starter and reliever. But he switched to kind of that sidearm relief role for the Phillies and had a nice long career with the Phillies and Braves. Gene Garber in the 9th. Top of the 9th, it's Luis Melendez. 35, center. Chuck Goggin. 63, first X. This is Tony Taylor. Is a 4.25 at first. Yeah, they don't value defense much in Philadelphia, but he makes the play there. Ellie Rodriguez will take over at catcher to max out all the defense for the Marlins. And Felipe Alou, 2-9, grounds to shortstop. 6-2 affair. Bottom of the 9th. We'll take Segui out after 5/3. And we'll go to a righty. We'll go directly to our closer, Orlando Pena. Great story, long career, 40-year-old Orlando Pena. Missed a lot of baseball at the end of the 60s, early 70s. Pitched for some bad Kansas City A and Washington Senator clubs. Arrived in St. Louis in 73 with a 2.18 ERA in 62 innings. Becomes the Marlin closer for the next couple of years. 6-2 game, Tony Taylor. 2-9 is a base hit. It'll be Larry Boa. 57's a K. Denny Doyle. 2-6 is a fielder's choice. And with 2 outs, it all comes down to Terry Harmon or a pinch hitter. Let's get a pinch hitter. Let's go big, folks. Let's go big batting average. Let's go Jay Johnstone. Let's take a look at Jay. A platoon player. Probably could start him against lefties. We gave him the day off until we needed him. And we need him. 75, 350 at-bats. Hit 329. They had crowded outfield in Philadelphia. They had Luzinski. They had Gary Maddox and Johnstone. Here's the pitch to Jay. 69 off of Pena is single on a 1. He cannot convert. And that, here come the boos. That is a loss for them at home. 6-2. And the Marlins are still alive. They find themselves back to a half game behind. And they will play a game 7, which would, if the Marlins win on the road, puts them a half game ahead, forcing a tiebreaker, which will be played back in Florida, game 8. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. Our game 7 pitchers coming up will be Pat Dobson for the Phillies, and it will be Eduardo Rodriguez for the Marlins. We'll have that and possibly a game 8, so stay tuned. Okay, baseball fans, here's the box score of the game you just saw. The Marlins winning game 6. 6-2 to force a game 7. Trodson, 6 1/3, 7 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 5 Ks. Orlando Pena with a save. Tough day for Twitchell, 6 innings, 9 hits, 6 runs. So it means it's game 7 in Philadelphia. Normally a game 7 would end a series. But in this case, if the Marlins can win, they could make a game 8 out of it. But let's see what happens in game 7. Eduardo Rodriguez versus Pat Dobson. In this game, we'll just go to the 3rd inning. Denny Doyle, a single, a fly out, a walk, and Larry Boa gets a single ... and that'll score the run. The run, as once again, inexplicably, the Florida Marlins are shut out for the 4th time in 7 games. When the Florida Marlins score a run, they win. When they don't, they lose. And yeah, if you've been following closely, you know that Pat Dobson's got 2 shutouts in his 2 starts in this series. This is Pat Dobson's 72 card with Baltimore, by the way. They got this card from the Orioles in exchange for Grant Jackson, some other stuff. Dobson technically, statistically, is better in 72 with a losing record than he was when they won 20 games with those 71 Orioles that went to a World Series. 9 innings, 2 hits, 5 walks, a strikeout. Real puzzling way for a Florida season to come to an end, but it did. That's just the way she goes, as we like to say when we can. So what's it all mean? Well, it means that, let's look at the overall standings. There you see that the Marlins are now a game and a half back, and that is elimination territory. They cannot catch anybody. And the Phillies find themselves in a dead heat with the Atlanta Braves. However, we get to invoke another tiebreaker. The Braves and Phillies met in the regular season. It was a 7-game series. Braves won 4-3. They get to be in 2nd place for the next round of the tournament. The Phillies have to be in 3rd round for the next round of the tournament with identical records. Interesting. Don't know how it's going to play out, but I thought it's pretty cool. We have an actual tie here in a highly contested National League. And, yeah, that we'll look at the overall. We'll look up the stats again. The Marlins, what is their number for Commissioner Award, which is staggering. 2,340 points. It's not been over 2,000 in a long time, and it looks like this team has played themselves into that draft pick, and they could certainly use it. So give this team an award for just letting all 20 guys play as much as possible in a scenario where they don't have much chance for an upside when you have 3 traditional Major League Baseball teams in their division. But the Marlins can use an extra draft pick next year and really improve or build out guys. For instance, Ed Figueroa could get better for this team. Eduardo Rodriguez could get better. Maybe even Tom Bergmeyer with this draft pick they have. Or they could find a guy out there on the rookie class to add to this team. So lots of possibilities for the Marlins. And then when we look at the tourney schedule, here it is. Florida needed a 5-3. Phillies got a 4-3. This is where it was a year ago for these 2 squads. But Philadelphia, let's take a look at this. Philly, Florida. Here's where it was a year ago. Philadelphia won 3-0 to give them a 17-15 record. Marlins were 9-19 a year ago. They were awful. But Philly took that 17-15 record, took it all the way to the National League Championship Series. Right here, where they lost to the Pirates 4-2. And Philadelphia finished a year ago 31-24. That's how far they ran when they got into the playoffs. That's what happened a year ago to stun everybody. They were better than the Braves and Mets in their own division. But again, it's 2024. And here they are, 17-19. Yeah, they can still limp in again, but it's going to be a tall task in the National League. That's it tonight. Break up your Philadelphia Phillies. They do indeed win 4-3 over the Florida Marlins. Thanks for checking this out, and we'll see you next time.